Hello everyone, my name is Hunter Gatchell and I'm here to present a strategic analysis on Tesla. So a little bit about the company. I created a timeline to show you a little bit about the major events that happened in the company's history. It was founded in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. The name came from renowned inventor Nikola Tesla, whom the founders had much admiration for. The firm was founded under the guise that there was no major auto company that made electric vehicles at this time, which was a rather new innovation. In 2004, Elon Musk invested $6.5 million of his own money, subsequently becoming the largest shareholder of the company and the chairman. He eventually took the role of CEO in 2008. The team reasoned that luxury cars would be their MO, and throughout the 2000s, the team developed their first model, the Tesla Roadster, in 2008. In June 2010, they announced an IPO, issuing 13.3 million shares of common stock, raising $244 million. Their business plan was laid out in a 2006 blog post from Musk, which stated that they would focus on providing zero-emission electric power generation and a focus on sustainability over everything. Using the economies of scale, the company would be able to create cheaper and cheaper cars and eventually expand their products internationally. Since then, they have been able to do just that, while also expanding their product line to 4 total Teslas, as well as expanding into Tesla superchargers, solar panels, and a Tesla semi-truck, and Tesla pickup truck called the Cybertruck, which are set to be shipped out next year. You can see they entered the solar power market in 2015, the second strategic plan, which laid out the future of the company in 2016, and then 2019, Musk unveiled the plans for the Cybertruck. As of now in 2021, the stock price reached an all-time high at the beginning of the year, and it continues to grow even today. So as for the industry, Tesla is in the auto manufacturing industry. Essentially, they have created a new industry of electric vehicles as their success has led nearly every major auto manufacturer to create their own EV in the past few years. As such, their main rivals are the major automotive manufacturers in the US, GM and Ford. Of course, they have rivals in Chrysler, along with Volkswagen, Toyota, and other international companies, but GM and Ford are their main competitors, especially in the United States. Tesla still holds a major market share in electric automotive industry. However, their stock price and market valuation dwarfs the competition, as it is not only the highest of any company in the industry, but among the highest of any company in the entire world. So going into a SWOT analysis, we can look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the company. It's clear they do have a lot of potential, but they still do have a lot going against them as well. To start with strengths, they hold a first mover advantage in the industry, and as such, they have enjoyed a domination of the industry. Additionally, their diversification into different product lines, such as solar panels, is part of the reason why they are so successful. As for their weaknesses, they have a lack of high-volume production. Their demand is much higher than their supply, which may be a good thing, but it has led to diminishing brand value and wait times that stretch many months for customers. They have manufacturing complications as well, with supply shortages and difficulties in creating batteries or procuring the right materials. These are major strategic issues as well that will be discussed later. As for opportunities, their product expansion with additional models, along with diversification, has allowed them to spread their eggs in many baskets. As their stock price implies, they have market confidence currently, so investors truly do believe in the future of the company, allowing them to expand and innovate more easily. Also, as explained earlier, the economies of scale, and to a lesser extent the economies of scope, allows them to decrease the price of their cars year over year, attracting more customers. Finally, as for their major threats, increasing competition has put a major strain on their market share, and these companies have a lot more capital to invest in their EVs, which could threaten the market share of Tesla. Additionally, the materials, specifically in the batteries, are very scarce, so it is tougher and tougher to get the materials, and Tesla has to continue to look for partnerships in countries all over the world to obtain these. However, it's harder and harder as time goes on. And finally, they have legal issues as well. Musk has made lofty claims and silly remarks, which have gotten him in trouble with the SEC. Plus, to further expand their autonomous vehicles, they must get government approval, which is no, easy feat. So going into their financials, you can see that their stock price and market valuation is very high. As of recording this, their stock price is $866.53, and their market valuation is $858.56 billion. They are at a disadvantage, though, compared to the industry average in many areas, specifically with revenue ratios. They only began to make a profit 2 years ago, and although they have increased their profits quarter over quarter for years, they still have massive debt. In terms of revenue ratios, they're below the industry average. And their major competitor, GM, which is compared here, could turn their opportunity of market confidence into a threat of investors not believing in them. But being a rather new company, they still have to prove their worth. And history is not on their side, as only one other United States auto manufacturer has never declared bankruptcy, which is Ford. However, as their very high stock price and market valuation goes to show, they still have a lot more potential than any other company in the industry. So going into their competitive strategy, it's one of a focused differentiation strategy. So they offer a highly differentiated product pursuing only a small market segment. Customers purchase the cars online and they don't have to go to third-party lots, as is the norm in the industry. As such, they have allowed themselves to differentiate from the competition and made it easier on the consumer. As for their diversification strategy, while they have focused in the first decade or so on garnering more attention on their company, they have just recently begun to expand their product line. What makes them more diverse than any other company in the industry is their product line, not only allowing customers to create made-to-order cars and customize them themselves, but expanding into semi-trucks and pickup trucks will allow them to expand their customer base as well and also go into business-to-business sales. They've also added complementary products such as superchargers and solar panels, so that encourages customers to expand upon their purchases as well. Additionally, they can also customize their cars as well. As for the Tesla Cybertruck, which will come out next year, they can actually add solar panels on top of the truck, which would allow the customers, more freedom, and they don't have to go to chargers as much. So going into the strategic issues of the company, there are two main strategic issues that I noticed. One of them is production issues. And they have, like I mentioned before, very high demand, but they struggle to get the supply out. Some customers have been waiting months for their cars, and the lead time is getting longer and longer, especially due to COVID. As for the other strategic issue, you can see it's extreme competition. They have had much success in the EV industry, and of course, other companies have begun to try to dive into the industry and take advantage of it. So the main strategic solution that I found, although there is no one-size-fits-all, I do believe that there is a really good solution that could certainly solve most of their issues. That is to partner with a major battery company with the intention to eventually absorb them. But to explain how they are to do that, I'll back up just a little bit. So, like I said, the two main causes of their production issues are not enough factories to meet demand and material and supply chain shortages. The company has been working to fix the former cause as they have built new factories, mainly one in Germany, which is actually set to open this month. But as for their supply chain shortages, it is mainly in their batteries. They create a lot of their batteries, so they have to procure the materials themselves. A lot of the materials, such as like lithium and cobalt, are scarce resources only to be found in Africa and South America. As such, there are many companies looking to extract these materials or work with those who are procuring them. A Chinese company called Contemporary Amperex Technologies, or I'll say CATL for short, are the main exporter of these raw materials. They're the world's leading supplier of electric batteries, actually, for electric automotive vehicles. So a partnership with them would be ideal. Tesla does have a small deal with them right now, although it is minimal, as Tesla has been trying to make their own batteries, for a majority of their life. The goal here would be to partner with them to purchase batteries as demand increases at a fraction of their demand. So for example, we could start out at 10%. So, say there was 1,000 cars demanded, then they would purchase 100 batteries from them. And then as the demand would go up, then their percentage of batteries purchased would go up to 15%, 20%, and so on. This would eventually lead to Tesla being the main strategic partner with Gatchell. And they do have some competitors such as BMW, Volkswagen, Toyota, and Honda that actually purchase from this company. So it is important to get this relationship with this company to kind of draw out the other companies and kind of become the main strategic partner with Gatchell. Additionally, as Gatchell is the main exporter of these raw materials, it will be much easier for Tesla to get a hold of these materials and harder for their competitors. Essentially, it would be a huge help for both of their main strategic issues. Eventually, the hope would be in roughly 5 years, the partnership would allow Tesla to begin an acquisition of Gatchell and essentially corner the market on both electric vehicles and electric batteries. Now, they do have the capital to acquire them right now, although with all of their debt right now, that would actually probably cripple the company, and it probably wouldn't be the right issue. So as their profit has been increasing, quarter over quarter, year over year, it's probably in their best interest to, continue the strategic partnership and then acquire them in roughly 5 years. It will be tough though, and Tesla does need to continue to go on the pace that they are with, increasing profits every quarter. But, that is roughly a rough timetable of 5 years, but possibly more could be doable. This would allow them to, of course, like I said, ease their competition, and, solve their production issues. Now, it wouldn't solve it, cold turkey. Like it wouldn't be a perfect solution, like nothing is. But I do believe that the strategic partnership and eventually the acquirement of Gatchell would allow them to become not only the largest electric vehicle battery supplier in the world, but of course the largest electric vehicle supplier in the world. So going on to the future of Tesla, you can see that if this plan is to be implemented and done perfectly, then Tesla can potentially see a monopoly, like I mentioned before, in both the electric vehicle and electric battery industries. While it is a lofty goal, the future is bright for Tesla. Even without this fix, however, the company still has a good future. You can see that they're currently the top 10 company in the world in stock price and market valuation. You can see right now they are 7th behind just Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, Saudi Aramco, Microsoft, and Apple. So, they're up there with the largest companies in the world. Many of them are electric companies that focus on, like Apple and Microsoft focus on similar things that Tesla does. So it is very likely that they could actually continue to increase their market cap and eventually get into possibly the top 5, especially with this possible acquisition of Gatchell. So their future is very bright. So I want to thank you very much for your time today.